On the morning of December 26, 1996, the quiet, affluent neighborhood of Boulder, Colorado, would become the epicenter of one of America's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. A 6-year-old girl, known for her sparkling tiaras and beauty pageant victories, would become the victim of a crime so shocking that it would capture the nation's attention for decades to come. The Golden Child. JonBenét Patricia Ramsey was born on August 6, 1990, in Atlanta, Georgia, the youngest child of JonBenét Ramsey, a successful businessman, and Patricia "Patsy" Ramsey, a former beauty queen herself. From an early age, JonBenét seemed destined for the spotlight. By age 6, JonBenét had already won numerous beauty pageants, including Little Miss Colorado, Colorado State All-Star Kids Cover Girl, and America's Royale Miss. With her platinum blonde hair, bright smile, and natural stage presence, she was a miniature version of her mother's dreams realized. The Ramsey family appeared to live the American dream. John Ramsey had built a successful computer company, Access Graphics, which was valued at over $1 billion. They lived in a sprawling 15-room Tudor-style mansion at 755 15th Street in Boulder's affluent University Hill neighborhood. But behind the facade of perfection, this family's world was about to be shattered in the most unimaginable way. The nightmare unfolds. December 25th, 1996, Christmas Day. The Ramseys had spent the evening at a friend's house for dinner. They returned home around 10 p.m., and by all accounts, it was a typical family Christmas. The next morning, December 26th, at approximately 5:52 a.m., Patsy Ramsey descended the spiral staircase of their home. At the bottom of the stairs, she discovered what would become one of the most analyzed pieces of evidence in criminal history. A ransom note. The note was unusually long for a ransom demand. 2.5 pages, written on paper from a notepad found inside the Ramsey home. It began, "Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We have your daughter." The note demanded $118,000. Coincidentally, almost exactly the amount of John Ramsey's recent bonus. The kidnappers called themselves the Small Foreign Faction and threatened JonBenét's life if the police were contacted. At 5:52 a.m., despite the ransom note's warning, Patsy called 911. The initial police response has been heavily criticized. Officers failed to secure the crime scene properly. Friends and family members were allowed to roam freely through the house, potentially contaminating evidence. For hours, the house filled with people, while John and Patsy waited for the kidnappers' call that would never come. Then, at approximately 1:05 p.m., Detective Linda Arndt asked John Ramsey and family friend Fleet White to search the house once more. John Ramsey headed to the basement. In a small room known as the wine cellar, he made the discovery that would haunt him forever. There, covered with a white blanket, was JonBenét's lifeless body. The investigation begins. The discovery of JonBenét's body immediately transformed the case from a kidnapping to a homicide. The Boulder Police Department, with limited experience in major crimes, suddenly found themselves investigating one of the most high-profile murders in American history. The autopsy revealed the horrific details of JonBenét's final hours. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled with a garrote made from a paintbrush found in the house. She also had a severe skull fracture. The coroner determined she had died between 10 p.m. on Christmas night and 6 a.m. the following morning. Crucial evidence was found at the scene. Unknown male DNA was discovered under JonBenét's fingernails and in her underwear. However, much of the potential evidence had been compromised by the chaotic crime scene management. Almost immediately, suspicion fell on the Ramsey family themselves. The unusual ransom note, the fact that there were no signs of forced entry, and the family's behavior during the investigation led many to believe this was not a random crime committed by an intruder. The media frenzy was unprecedented. The case had everything that captivated public attention: a beautiful child victim, wealthy parents, beauty pageants, and a mysterious crime in an upscale neighborhood. Cable news channels provided round-the-clock coverage. The investigation quickly became a battle between the Boulder Police Department, who focused primarily on the family, and the district attorney's office, who maintained that an intruder was responsible. Theories and suspects. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged about who killed JonBenét Ramsey. The most prominent fall into three categories. A family member was responsible, an intruder committed the crime, or someone known to the family was involved. The family theory. Many investigators and crime experts believed that someone in the Ramsey family was responsible. The lengthy ransom note, written on paper from inside the house, seemed staged. Handwriting experts suggested similarities between Patsy Ramsey's writing and the note, though this was never definitively proven. The staging theory suggested that JonBenét died accidentally, possibly in a fit of rage, and the ransom note was created to divert attention from the real killer. Burke Ramsey, JonBenét's 9-year-old brother, was even considered as a possible suspect by some investigators. The intruder theory. Supporters of the intruder theory pointed to several key pieces of evidence: the unknown male DNA found on JonBenét's body and clothing, an open basement window, and what appeared to be a stun gun mark on her body. In 2008, advances in DNA technology led to a significant development. Touch DNA analysis revealed that the unknown male DNA found on JonBenét's clothing came from the same person, and it did not match any member of the Ramsey family. Known associate theory. Some investigators believed the killer was someone known to the family, perhaps a former employee, neighbor, or acquaintance who had access to the house and knowledge of the family's routines and finances. Over the years, numerous suspects have been investigated, including John Mark Carr, who falsely confessed to the murder in 2006 but was cleared by DNA evidence. Gary Howard Oliva, a convicted pedophile who was in Boulder at the time and allegedly confessed to a friend. Michael Helgoth, who died by suicide shortly after the murder and owned boots that matched footprints found at the scene. Despite extensive investigation into dozens of suspects, no one has ever been charged with JonBenét's murder. The ongoing mystery. Nearly 3 decades have passed since JonBenét Ramsey's murder, and the case remains one of America's most famous unsolved mysteries. The Boulder Police Department has followed up on over 21,000 tips and interviewed more than 1,000 people in connection with the crime. In 2008, Boulder County District Attorney Mary Lacey officially cleared the Ramsey family of suspicion based on new DNA evidence. She issued a formal apology to the family for the years of scrutiny they had endured. Patsy Ramsey died of ovarian cancer in 2006, never seeing her family cleared of suspicion. John Ramsey has continued to advocate for further DNA testing and investigation into his daughter's murder. Recent developments in 2024 and 2025 have brought new hope to the case. Colorado investigators are reportedly making progress using cutting-edge forensic and scientific technology, with sources suggesting that new DNA technology could aid in re-examining crucial evidence. John Ramsey continues to push for more DNA testing, believing that several potentially key pieces of evidence have never been tested. He maintains hope that modern forensic techniques might finally identify his daughter's killer. Sources close to the investigation have expressed optimism, with some suggesting this is our year for potentially solving the case in 2025. The lasting impact. The JonBenét Ramsey case changed more than just one family's life. It fundamentally altered how missing children cases are handled, leading to improved protocols for crime scene management and family liaison procedures. The case also sparked a national conversation about child beauty pageants and the potential dangers of putting children in the public spotlight. Many questioned whether JonBenét's participation in pageants made her a target for predators. The intense media coverage of the case established a template for true crime entertainment that continues today. The story has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and television specials, keeping JonBenét's case in the public consciousness. Burke Ramsey, JonBenét's older brother, has largely stayed out of the public eye, though he did give a rare interview in 2016 on the 20th anniversary of his sister's death, maintaining his family's innocence. Today, JonBenét would have been 34 years old. Instead, she remains forever 6 in the public memory. A beautiful child whose life was cut tragically short on a cold December night in Boulder, Colorado. As investigators continue their work, having followed up on over 21,016 tips, letters, and emails, and traveling to 19 states to interview more than 1,000 individuals, the question remains: who killed JonBenét Ramsey? The answer to that question may still be out there, waiting to be discovered. Until then, JonBenét Patricia Ramsey remains not just a victim of a heinous crime, but a symbol of innocence lost and justice delayed.